Hey there guys, how's it going? Ripper here, back with another painting video, and it's a nice simple one today, as is the walker from Zombicide Green Horde. We need to do all the walkers, all the runners, all the fatties, so I figured I'd start with the walker as I have one on my desk as I was doing some testing, so we went with that. I am keeping this very simple as there is 8 of them to paint, so it makes sense to have something quick and simple to do. Otherwise you're going to spend forever just painting one and then you've got all the others to do after that. I've started off primed it in our standard grey primer that I always use. Not the best prime job, I'm not going to lie. If you look as I'm spinning it round, there are bits I've missed, but as long as it covers enough, primer is good for that. I've done the skin in Goblin Green, and we are now currently doing leather brown for everything else. There are other colours going on here, but I figured block it in with the leather brown and then the Goblin Green as well, and then you come back and go over them to use this as basically a base coat to just modify the colours slightly. That is it for leather brown. That is all of the colours now. Well, all of the mini is now covered in some form of colour paint, but now we're coming into gunmetal, and this is just to go back over some of that leather brown where the metallics are going to be. And this is basically so if the gunmetal sort of wears away a little bit, it has a more of a rust look than the primer. It's a little bit of extra protection, as these guys are going to get thrown around a lot more than like any of the main minis I've already done. Because there's so many of them, you just whip them out, whack them on the table, then put them back. And now the metallics are done, we're going to move on to the only highlight of this model, and it is Necrotic Flesh for all of the orc skin. And putting it on like this, it looks terrible. I'm not going to lie, even when I was painting this, I was thinking this could be a bad idea. But once the wash goes on, it comes out really well, and how you would expect it to be for a zombie orc. As you can see with all of our highlights that we do, all the raised areas or the big blocks of the areas is more just not the recesses for this. If you wanted to do another like above highlight after the wash, you would come back with probably Necrotic Flesh again, but very thin down, and just pick up all just the tips of the raised areas instead of the whole blocks like we're doing at the moment. There we go, that is it for the highlights. Now we move on to skeleton bone, and this is just for the teeth, and here's the leg bone that is sticking out of the wound. But that is all you need for the skeleton bone. Then you move on to pure red, and at this stage it's just for the eyes. I wanted to do the wash first and then come in and do the blood. which we are now onto the wash, and it is green tone over all their skin. And this is going on pretty thick, not so thick that it pulls in places, but a good coverage area, if that makes sense. Because probably one of the best things about Army Painter's washes is it's a stain as well as a wash. So you get the recessed areas, but it also tints the entire area that you're painting. Now green tone's done, we're on to strong tone, and this is for everything other than the skin. Okay, now the washes are done, leave it to dry as always, and then you come back with a bit of crusted sore, and this is for the first part of the bloody stained areas. So you got around the mouth, all the wounds. I did a bit on the random nail that's stuck in his arm just to make it look like it's freshly pierced. Then we move on. While that crusted sore is still wet, you come on to pure red. Touch up the eyes first and then start just spreading it into the wounded areas as it mixes a bit more with the crusted sore while it's wet and gives you more of a varied tone. But that is it for the mini. Now we're on to matte black for the base. The only thing left after this is, once it's all dry, is the wash. Not the wash, sorry, the varnish for the red, which will come up in a bit. As you can see, this mini is pretty simple, and it's more, I've worked out how to paint this just so that it can be assembly lined, as you can do one and then do the next one, do the next one, this one. By the time you've done them all, you come back and it's already dry, ready to go. But now we're moving on to glistening blood, which goes on looking very red and then dries almost clear. As you can see, that's the final paint job for this mini. Very quick, very simple, and easy to replicate, which is probably the best thing for this. But like and subscribe if you did enjoy, guys. I will catch you in the next one with probably a runner. See ya.